you guys do me a quick favor?
Yeah.
All three of you, just give me like a good clap so we can get it synced.
So Rob and I are here at the legendary Parkdale Diner Harry's.
Yeah, it is delightful. It is smelling as though you know, the fryers are going, and we're here with Matty Matheson, chef and host of Vice's Dead Set on Life. Matty, thanks for coming to chat, man.
Yeah, good to be here. It's a good place.
We wanted to bring you here amidst the fryers to sort of like talk about ideas of like food culture on film, because like, you know, there's been so many examples of really, really excellent food television shows lately, whether it's, you know, Wong's World or all of those Bourdain joints or your show Dead Set on Life. Why do you think food is such a useful lens for exploring culture?
Okay, get right into it.
Yeah. No easy questions here.
Yeah, I think it is the easiest way to understand people is to see how they eat. Right. And I think once people start eating, they become very comfortable. I think it's just like that absolute, like, it's the widest door into any culture.
Right.
You know, the food, no matter where you go in the world, food is the #1 thing. You know, like food is, besides maybe like fashion or, you know, like it really, like, I think that food is the entry way into any culture. And I think that it's a really beautiful one, you know? It brings people together, and it has so many connective dots. You know, where does the food come from, how it's prepared, who do you spend your time with most cooking food, serving food to people. And it's the only thing that I kind of understand is food. You know, like, I'm just like, I love food. Most people love food.
If you don't love food, I don't really want to be around those people. Like, they freak me out.
Yeah, people that don't like food, like my showrunner for the second season, Jay Shield. Shout out to Jay. He is one of those guys who's kind of indifferent about food, and I always find it like so funny. Like he'll like literally eat like a hungry man. And like,
Why?
like he's like one of those kind of dudes who's like, yeah, I went home, bought like 25 Hungry Mans. Gonna eat a few Hungry Mans this week.
I'm gonna try Soylent, just see what that's about.
Yeah, no, like there are those kind of people that, like, the indifferent people about food are like almost like insane to me, because it's they're living life on a different kind of lane, and I don't really understand that lane. That's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I also feel like people are booking their vacations now based on food and restaurants and where to eat. And people that don't do that, like you said, kind of freak me out. Like, when I go on a vacation, it is very much a food location, and if the Eiffel Tower happens to be near the restaurant I really want to go to, maybe I'll like walk past it.
Yeah, I think the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I think that like that the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Nah, but like when I the first time I went to France, like I am very like I only travel to eat. Exactly. Like I don't travel to go to like an all-inclusive. I don't travel to go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa or whatever, you know, or go to Niagara Falls to see Niagara Falls.
The Eiffel Tower is a good place to like sit in front of and drink wine, though. Like, that's something that I appreciate about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some ice cream. There's some ice cream down there. I remember I just got some ice cream.
Yeah, fair play. So, you know, you're talking about how, you know, you mostly plan your trips around eating now. Yeah. And you also, that's also kind of your job to a certain extent, because you have this show, Dead Set on Life. How did you get this show on Vice? How did that happen?
I paid them $10. No. I was like, I got $10, can I get a show? Yeah. No, it happened organically. Like Vice is one of those things that kind of like, anyone could do anything with them, right? So it's like, when they started doing food, like they never did food before. And when they started doing munchies, the very first munchies with like David Chang, when they started taking chefs out, getting them drunk, bringing them around to their favorite restaurants, they would go back to their restaurant and cook. I was like, this is the coolest. Finally, Vice is doing something that I actually really care about. Like I used to care about like drugs and doing stupid shit and like, you know, all that stupid stuff that Vice was known for. And made their name, but like as soon as they started doing food, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And so I was friends with a lot of people in Toronto connected to Vice, and I had a few friends in New York. And as soon as they started doing the food stuff, I was just like, yo, like how can I get involved? Yeah. I want to be a part of this, you know? And it took a minute, and then finally me and Patrick McGuire, who's the head of content now, he came to me, he's like, hey, we want to shoot a thing called Hangover Cures with you, where you take a chef, it's kind of the opposite of like Munchies, because Munchies was just that show kind of thing before it was like the actual website.
Actual content vertical.
Yeah. So they're like, we want to do a whole thing with you. We want to do a thing called Hangover Cures. You take a chef out, get them as drunk as possible. Then the next morning, they cook you a hangover cure.
It's a strong concept.
It's a good concept.
It's a fun concept.
It was pretty good while it lasted. We shot 4 episodes. One has never aired. It's never gonna air.
Why is that?
It was a little too rowdy. It was you know when people say unruly? It was unruly.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, some shit happens. So that will never make the light of day. But that was kind of like my in, and so we made these videos. They did really well, and then they started doing how-to videos. And I did a cheeseburger how-to video, and it popped off. It just like went kind of viral. And then like Shane Smith saw it and was like, who the fuck is this guy? This guy's fucking something.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden we started doing more how-to videos, and it went really well. I was like, yo, I want to continue to do TV or internet. I want to continue to do content.
Yeah.
I want to keep going with this. I can't do hangover cures. I want to do a thing. And then I came up with the name of Keep It Canada. We did Keep It Canada. We did, 6 episodes of Keep It Canada. When Viceland came, they're like, let's keep going. Do you want to keep going? And I was like, yeah, this is cool. I get to travel. I get to see friends. This is an interesting vibe, This is cool. Yeah. And then we started doing Dead Set on Life, and now we're in the 3rd season of that shit. So Vice, it's been this kind of gradual thing. Like things happen in my life, so I had to switch. And they've always rolled with the punches. And I'm just lucky enough that people like it, and fucking we keep going.
You were talking about cities before. How do you decide on which cities to go to?
It starts with kind of where I want to go.
Yeah.
So as formula driven as it is, it's kind of like I want to go here, here, and here, and here. Right. I know a dude here. I know a person here. There's something here. It's like as vague as like it's that. And then we're just like, okay, our team's very small. Right. Our team's it's John, Taylor, and Michelle. That's our team, on the back end of things, really. Yeah. Besides all the editors, but that's our producer team. Gotcha. And researchers and stuff like that. So they go to work, and then they're like, okay, we found this. What about this? This person, okay, we dug a little deeper on your buddy, and he actually has this kind of a story to tell. Or I'll come with them and be like, yo, my buddy had this crazy thing happen. He's never been back to New Zealand for 20 years. He's gone on and become a very successful chef. But along that way, he's done a lot of different things. He was in fashion. This is an interesting character. This is somebody that can tell a story.
Right. From an audience perspective, it seems like food culture has become bigger than ever. Why do you think that is? What do you think it is about food culture that is kind of the popular imagination has just consumed it?
I don't know. Instagram's crazy. Everything is crazy.
Right.
And it's taken about 20 years, Food Network at the beginning, the OG, Food Network guys like Batali and Flay and Emerald, and the celebrity chef thing happened, 20 years ago, over 20 years ago now. Mm-hmm. It took that amount of time to put food in the forefront. Right. And people are really worried about where food comes from, what's going on with food, the future of food, and the importance of farmers and that kind of stuff, or they're not. But I think that food, everyone loves food. I think everyone's just getting more educated, and from the beginning of food television, that has now, I think it's just a generational thing where it's we care where food comes from. We want to go to a better shopping market or a farmer's market. Did you ever kids eating, my parents didn't go to farmers markets. Yeah. They were part of that different generation where they wanted to go to a store and buy everything. Yeah. And now it's you go to a farmer's market, or you got the tote bag, and you got the kale, and you got the green beans and fresh strawberries, and you come home and you cook. People are cooking. Yeah. And I think that is a thing. People are genuinely excited about food. And I think that that is just a matter of like progression. And food at the forefront is everyone needs food. Like every single person needs to eat food to survive. Yeah. And people are just interested in this thing that makes them want to survive. And it makes me live. And I get the joy of the likes and the follows and the comments and the photo, and it tastes fucking good, and I'm with people that I care about, and I'm enjoying this new experience. Right. You know, like there's so many dimensions to food now where it's not just about eating it and being like, oh, that's really good, or you're gonna, like, blogs don't even really exist anymore, but it's like everything is just on your phone. So it's like it's made food. Now it's bigger than ever just because everyone is Instagramming food. Like it's even like it's at an exponential rate of like how people are opening up restaurants that are Instagram-based restaurants. People are opening up, making and designing dishes that are like, this will be good for Instagram. Right. Because that's a fucking like it's not gonna go away. Right. And it's like an insane thing that, like, I don't know when that bubble will burst or like whatever will happen. When we first opened Parts and Labor, I remember it was like a year after we opened like Instagram's like, what, 5 years old? Yeah. So it's like when I opened Parts and Labor 6 years ago, there wasn't Instagram. You know? There wasn't Instagram. And then all of a sudden I remember somebody like text me, be like, yo, check out this app. There's like a thing where you just put photos up. It's like Twitter. And then all of a sudden it just like, Instagram's like food. Yeah. Or like thoughts, you know, like it's like butts or like food or you're selling something, you know, like it's a
all
really
things central to life.
And
food, selling stuff.
Yeah.
And you're identifying yourself through your Instagram. If like you're a foodie, that's what you're taking pictures of. Are you for taking pictures of food when if you're as a chef and you're seeing that, or you're like, yes,
I'm the
worst.
Like, oh my God. Like, I'll flash out in a restaurant. I don't give a shit. Like, it's just like, like, now it's a joke. Like, I find, like, if I'm flashing out, I'll make even, like, I'll just be ignorant about it. Because it's just like, oh, am I killing your time here? Like, this is the world we live in, my dudes. Like, nothing's sacred. Like, nothing's sacred anymore. Like, there is time, like, there's restaurants that I go to where it's like, I won't. Right. And there's experience, like, sometimes my wife's like, okay, this isn't like an Instagram dinner. You know, or like, she's like, just like, this is us. And we're like, date night. Like, you know, now that I have like date night, it's you kind of like keep it more low key or like, but Instagram too, like the thing that people don't understand is like it takes 1 second. Yeah. You know, like you do Instagram and then you can put your phone down. I don't know.
As long as you're not like standing on the chair, getting the perfect shot of
Or people showing up with like a light box. Like people are crazy now. Like people show up with like a light box. Those motherfuckers.
I don't want to eat with
good on you. Yeah, I did like an event in New York, and some woman just like was like flipped out this light box, and it was just like, okay, let's get it. You're gonna make my food look good. I'm like, good for you.
It's a commitment to excellence, right?
Yeah, she's got like 500,000 followers. Good for her. You know, like it's a funny thing. Like it's like crazy those larger food accounts and like. I don't know. It's just a different kind of. It's a different way to dine. It's a different way to experience things. It's a new fucking world.
What is it about chefs that you think that makes them good storytellers? Like, does it have to do with that sort of like centrality of food that like everybody needs to eat, or is it like more than that?
I think they're like any. I don't know. I think chefs are more than likely like, you know, extroverts and want to like share things. They're excited about the food. Yeah. They're excited to tell you something. They're excited about the experience you're gonna have. They're curating that. I always say like a really good restaurant should feel like you're in a play. And you're like sitting there and you're a part of this thing and you're watching and you're like the way the servers move, the way the bartenders are moving, the way the bussers are moving, the way the chef comes in and out, interacts with guests, the way the guests are interacting with themselves, they make you feel really comfortable, and there's a play kind of going on, and you're in it. That's a really good restaurant. Yeah. When you walk in and you feel a part of something instantly, you're like, I'm here. Okay, I'm in this place. This is cool. And then all of a sudden, service begins, and you're like, whoa, what's happening? And like you really fall into their arms, and that's what makes a really special, really unique kind of experience that is kind of few and far between, but that's when you're like hitting it on all cylinders with restaurants. And all of a sudden you're just like, this is, oh, sick. You don't even know what happened, but like you escaped. Yeah. Because you weren't thinking about the outside, you weren't thinking about, you know, the shitty day or the breakup, or, you know, you weren't thinking about your taxes or not being able to buy a house in Toronto or like, you know, you're not thinking about those things. You're thinking about the food in front of you. You're engaged and watching because that's the show. Like before that was the show. Your friends, the conversations you're having. You should be able to get lost very quickly in a good restaurant.
Do you have a favorite? Like we've talked a lot about documentary kind of food content and food itself, but do you have a favorite like narrative food film, like a fiction film that's about food?
I'm probably getting shit for saying this, but I thought Burnt was real good.
Okay. Okay. Why though? Why did you think?
I
Burnt
just
was good?
liked it because it's like besides the stupid story of the chef. But it's not even stupid. That shit happened. You owe people. I've owed people thousands of dollars. I've had to pay drug dealers off in steaks. Right. Like it's real. Yeah. And like people may not understand that and they think it's cliche. But I'm like, that is real. And it's like, and I love just like the kitchen was Ratatouille. Like I love those like kind of like movies that are like actually real and like higher class restaurants than myself. Like Parts and Labor. I'm like, I'm not trying to like reinvent the wheel. We serve fried chicken and cheeseburgers and like very kind of basic food, right?
Are you on that David Gelb tip? Like, do you watch like Chef's Table and all that stuff?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like I love Mind of a Chef. Yeah. I love Chef's Table. I think that the Magnus Nielsen, Mind of a Chef. Is the best culinary television. I don't know if I should even say that, but like I think he is one of the most fascinating people, and I think that is like one of the best culinary content pieces ever made. Yeah. Like watching that dude looking at ice and then like making a dessert out of ice and like just the way that he thinks and like how isolated he is and what he's done and I think that like I love watching that stuff.
I've never seen Moss look so like appetizing.
Magnus.
Why do you think food works better in the documentary format in a way than like the narrative film or television like series? Because it seems to be really drawn to that kind of medium.
I don't know. Like, why isn't there a show like ER or like why isn't there a show like Grey's Anatomy? Yeah. But like chefs.
Yeah. It's the doctors and cops are everywhere.
Because it's not a lot of like it's a lot of cooking, it's a lot of head down, it's a lot of like being quiet and like working hard rather than like and it's like how many episodes could you the customers steak's undercooked. Like it really like everything should go well. Yeah. Really. And then it's like the chaos. Like there's always that mystique about like the chaos. Is the chef fucking somebody in the walk-in? Are they like what's happening? Are they stealing truffles? Yeah. Are they, like what? Like if you took every single cliche or every single story of a chef, like is it enough to have like a television like a scripted television show? Yeah. And it'd be really like you would need some like really big name. Like I think like Gordon Ramsay. Yeah. He consulted on Burnt.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And in that kitchen, like watching that kitchen, I was like, yeah, that's a Michelin star kitchen. Like that's how they work. That's how it like I love watching that kind of stuff because I love watching that kind of stuff. It's like watching people who like love paint. I'm sure would love to watch people paint. Right. Like that are like I don't know any fucking famous like Picasso. Like I don't know. But like you want to see into that world, and I love seeing into that kind of like higher end world. It's really fascinating to me. And just people's stories, like the Ivan Orkin story on Chef's Table, is incredible. I've known Ivan for a few years now, and just watching his story, him tell the story, like losing his wife, the struggles that he had, like just a white guy from New York living in Japan for almost 20 years and succeeding is unheard of. And I think like that stuff is like, he's making ramen. But like the world wants to see, like they're gravitated towards that. And it's just a story. Like everyone has a story, man. Everyone has, like I think like that's the amazing thing. And it's like, and people just care about food now in a different way.
Is there a friend of yours or another chef who is a real character that kind of deserves a documentary show on him or that doesn't have one essentially?
I don't know.
Pitch your friend the show.
Yeah. I think a lot like Yeah. I think, you know, we're in Grant Van Gameren.
There you go.
He's an interesting motherfucker. He's an onion, that guy. You know, like I think, you know, he's had a very interesting life. I think, you know, he's had ups and downs, and he's, you know, a very successful, very respected chef. And I think like he's worth, you know, some people's time.
Every time I eat at Bar Isabel, there's at least one moment where I like hold my head in my hands, just like sort of like questioning the meaning of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then that's what's up.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of like lightning round, quick rapid fire questions that we want to ask you. First question: what chef do you most admire?
That's a crazy thing because I don't have a mentor, but like I think like you know, like Paul Bocuse is like one of those things. Paul Bocuse, Daniel Boulud. I think like those like classic French chefs that are like, you know, Paul Bocuse is like what, almost 90, and he's in his restaurant every day still, and Daniel has, you know,
He's unbelievable.
Danielle's is unbelievable, and I think like those dudes are just like they're magical kind of people. And I think like the way that they do business, the way that they hold themselves, the way that they live their lives is a pretty cool vibe.
Favorite food city?
New York. Or yeah, New York.
What's a city that you haven't been to yet that you are dying to visit?
Mexico City. I've never been to Mexico City. I've never been to like San Sebastian. I've never been to, you know, I've never been to Rome.
Right.
I haven't been to a lot of places, but yeah, I think like going to like Rome, going to not a city, but like Sicily. I'd love to go to like Sicily. I'd love to go to Spain. I'd love to go to you know, Mexico. Yeah.
Favorite restaurant scene in a movie?
You know, I think like the Pulp Fiction, like Tim Roth thing is a sick like restaurant scene. You know, I love like the shot, like Goodfellas, when they're all in there and they do the slow shot, and you know, Ray Liotta is saying what's up to everyone.
Yeah, love it.
I think that's a really interesting one. I thought the diner, because I was thinking about diner stuff a little bit, but like the diner scene in Moonlight.
Oh yeah.
Was like one of the best scenes. Well, I think it was like the best. Like that conversation, that part of the movie was one of the most like beautiful things ever. And it was like a dream. Like it was a very cool scene set in a diner.
What is the most overrated regional delicacy?
I don't think anything is overrated. If you go to the right spot, I think the idea, like, fuck Main Street, like fuck anything that's been exploited. You know, like fuck, like that shit pisses me off. Where it's like everywhere I go, they're like, oh, poutine. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
you know, but if you go to Quebec and you get like, you know, you get a banging poutine on some like crazy lake, you know, next to some lake in North Quebec, and like that poutine's on the side of the highway, it's cracking, man. Those cheese curds are squeaking. You're in a good place. You go to New York and you go to some like place, like I just went to some place out in Queens by LaGuardia called Danny's, and it was like one of the best pizza experiences of my life. And it's like there's a reason why those things are like so bigger and larger than life. And the things that make them larger than life are like the way they, by the time they get larger than life, it's been bastardized to like an extent of like for like common people or peasants. And it's like, why don't you just go get the real thing? Like where the spot where, like, if you want poutine, find the fucking spot. If you want pizza, find the pizza, you know, like don't go to like, you know, I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like go to the, like, I think if, like even when I was in Iceland, we went and did like the fermented shark thing.
Nice.
And I was like, I don't want this to be like a stupid, like how do we make this not stupid? Where it's like, I'm going in and like I get a medal for eating a piece of fucking fermented shark. You know, like it's like, how do we make this kind of like real? And like there's history to this. You know, there's history, there was starvation, there was scurvy, there was like, what do we do? A shark was pushed onto the shore, and like that was the food for this dude, and he salted it and cured it and buried it and left it for 3 months, and then like finally these people came into town and had scurvy, and he's like, I don't have anything to eat except I have a shark buried out in the yard, and let's go get it. Oh, and they ate it and it cured their scurvy. You know, but it's like everyone goes there and like they try to like they want to like overreact and you eat it and you're like it tastes almost like a funky piece of cheese rind.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you barf. It doesn't do anything. It's like a crazy funky piece of cheese rind and it's shark and it's like and it's poisonous if it's not like treated the way that it is. Like if you were to eat it raw or just like take it and cook it, you would like die. So it's kind of an interesting thing, but it's like, you know, like I was going there and I thought there would be like a big bucket and like this big stinking piece of fish would come out. It's like a nice little fillet of white fish. It looks like swordfish. And then they cut a little piece and you take a little, and you're like, oh, this is crazy. This is like a very intense piece of cheese rind that tastes like piss gas, you know? But it's, I think like with all those kind of cliches and like all those kind of like things, it's like, just go to the source. Like if there's if this place is known for something, like I'm sure there's a lot of shitty pastor. Yeah. You know, like I'm sure there's a lot of you go to, you know, Mexico. I'm sure there's a lot of like tacos that are not that good. But go find the best one. There's always the one that like the oldest, the best, and all that kind of shit, right? So I think that you want to just kind of use those as markers or like kind of like little, you know, indicators, and then try to find the real one.
How important are reviews to you in terms of determining where to eat? What movies to see?
No.
No, don't even.
No, I'll watch a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
I'll strap right in. No, it's I don't know. If I want to watch something, I want to watch something, and how I feel and about a restaurant or a movie is different than every single other person on this world. So it's like I really like, and I love, you know, I love all different kinds of movies and stuff like that. So yeah, love a good sad movie. Just get sad. No one wins, eh? Just sad.
Everyone dies.
Yeah.
What non-P&L restaurant would you recommend in Toronto to folks that are like listening that, you know, maybe need a good restaurant?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go to Honest Wait, Dandelion. Go to Brothers. Go to La Banane. Come to Harry's. Go to Bar Raval. Go to, you know, the Tempered Room. Go to Beast. Go to, where else? Go to Harry's. Go to Harry's, get a cheeseburger, maybe a bowl of chili, my big old Nate dog. You know, I think that, what else? Harry's, go to Sneaky D's, go to fucking Sneaky D's, get some nachos and some wings, get some, hopefully a little hiccup and some diarrhea. You know, go to Fall In, I'll blow up all my spots. Go to Fall In, go to King's Noodle, go to, you know, Mother's Dumpling. Don't go to Mother's Dumpling. Go to Dumpling House.
Okay.
Dumpling House is better, I think. Mother's Dumplings fallen off.
Is this your route? Is this your monthly route of all these restaurants?
Daily. No, I don't know. I go to Fall In like 5 times a week.
Yeah. Last question. Last meal. What is your last meal?
See, I'm always torn because I know I get asked this question often.
Okay.
And I always think instantly Mighty Taco from Buffalo. It tastes like dog shit, but it's my favorite fucking like fast food taco place. Yeah. Maybe have a few tacos from Mighty Taco. Work in some I like eating. I like a lot of caviar. Oh, yeah. You know those like rinky dink. I got a phone call. We got a delivery. I love that.
Yeah. It's a real diner.
This is a real diner. We're calling in.
Calling in. Yeah.
You guys got coffee? Yeah, so I think it would be a very high-low meal.
Yeah, okay.
It would be a high-low meal. I think definitely like Mighty Taco. Or like, you know, Pat's, like a cheesesteak from Pat's. Yeah. Is really good. See, it would be like either like high-low, like shitty tacos and cheesesteaks, and then like sushi, like really like sushi Yasuda or like Soko. And then like caviar and like foie gras. You know, just have like Martin Picard cook for you.
Sounds amazing. That sounds.
Because yeah, he kind of hits it on all the heads. So just have old Picard, hey there, bud.
Do you have a last meal, Rob?
Honestly, I think it's like steak, lobster,
chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets, nuggies for sure. You need to eat them nuggies. I probably also want like a chocolate milkshake in there too, like a really bomb one with like the extra like that's there also that they give you, like the thing. Yeah, I want that.
The extra also.
Yeah, the extra also. Yeah, I feel like that's the choice. What are you doing?
We talked about this before. I'm doing the double Caesar.
Okay.
I actually ordered it once by accident where I ordered a Caesar to drink and they brought me this amazing Caesar salad and then I'll be like, well, I'll also have that Caesar still. And I had this double Caesar situation that was
That's your last
very
meal?
memorable, yeah.
It's the
A
hypertension
salad.
special.
I'm embarrassed.
Ketchup drink, and fucking lettuce.
There's more in it than ketchup. Or people lying to me.
I get whatever, man. I'm having like mighty taco, but a Caesar and a Caesar.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, the double.
That's like the best one I've ever heard, baby.
Thank you.
That's actually like, fuck it. Fuck it, I'm going down. Give me a Caesar and a Caesar.
That's like a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes, but I'm still eating it.
Yeah. Give me some romaine hearts.
Delicious. Matty Matheson, thanks for taking the time to chat, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Yeah, cool,
Yeah, thanks,
man.
dude.
Yeah, thanks.